From the 1011 Now Alert Center, this is Morning Pulse.
Good morning and happy MLK Day. This is Craig Allison with your Morning Pulse for Monday, January 19th. Our question of the day this morning was, the younger an adult is, the less likely they are to do this when they go to a bar. What is it? Well, the answer is run a tab. I actually got this right this morning. I know my co-anchor Megan Conway is not going to believe that because she has today off. But I am going to pull up the footage and prove to her that I did indeed get it right. But if you want to participate in our question of the day, be sure to put in your guess on our 1011 Facebook page. We read off the guesses during the show, and we read off the answer at the end of 1011 this morning. But that being said, let's get over into our headlines this morning, starting things off on the international side. Just days ago, President Trump announced the creation of a Board of Peace to oversee the reconstruction of Gaza. Former British Prime Minister Tony Blair, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio are among the members of the board with President Trump as its chairman. Now there are reports saying anyone who wants a permanent seat on the board must pay $1 billion. The money will be used to rebuild Gaza, and board members who do not make the payment can serve a 3-year term. The president invited leaders of several countries to be members of the board. However, the board has no representative from the Palestinian Authority. It is a Hamas rival running parts of the occupied West Bank. Now throwing things over to your local headlines, a sad story from just yesterday. A total of 9 animals are dead following a shed fire in northwest Lincoln yesterday afternoon. LFR says that shed has been deemed a total loss, but the crews were worried about the fire spreading to the house, which was only 5 feet away. We were told nobody currently lives in the house because it's under construction. The shed sustained $50,000 in damage, while the house sustained minor damage on the outside. No people were injured, but we have been told 5 goats and 4 ducks were killed. LFR says a heat lamp that was being used to keep the goats warm is what started that fire. Happening today, in honor of Martin Luther King Jr. Day, the Lincoln community is invited to the annual MLK Youth Rally. This is the 31st year of the rally having taken place, and this year the theme is the audacity to walk together in love. Its organizers say it's inspired by King's Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech, his call for dignity, equality, and freedom for the spirit. Their goal to promote the life and dream of both Dr. King and local civil rights leader Dr. Leola Bullock through positive youth action. It's happening in UNL's Student Union this morning, and doors open at 8:45 a.m., and the rally will start at 10. 1011 will be there to give you an inside look at how the group is remembering Dr. King. Your fourth story last month. President Trump signed an executive order to reclassify marijuana from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 drug. The move opens the way for new medical research and marks a major shift in drug policy at the federal level. Nebraska Attorney General Mike Hilgers disagrees. Hilgers clarifying the executive order only directs the Department of Justice to expedite the rescheduling, meaning nothing has changed in the laws for them yet. But he believes science doesn't justify the change and that there's no sort of value. Regardless, it won't change their concern around the ballot process in Nebraska.
It could be totally removed from the schedule, and it wouldn't impact whether we think that there was malfeasance or wrongdoing in the petition process. Now,
in December, the state Supreme Court heard arguments in an effort to invalidate tens of thousands of signatures on the state's medical marijuana ballot petitions. Court is expected to release a decision in the coming weeks. Your fifth story, the Otoe County Sheriff's Office is in the midst of an investigation after finding remains of a person inside of a burned camper. Nebraska City Fire and Rescue responded to a camper fire Friday morning at 3:30, finding a camper fully engulfed on the western edge of the campground. Authorities say a body was found inside the burned camper. Investigators are working to identify the victim, but the cause is still under investigation, and an autopsy has been scheduled. We'll have the latest for you on our 1011 Now app and on Roku. And wrapping things up with your final story this morning, the ag industry is one that many Nebraskans were raised in, and it's a vital part of the state, history, and for many, a way of life. That way of life was celebrated by collectors and ag enthusiasts alike yesterday with displays of both vintage and modern replica farm equipment filling the Sandhills Global Event Center. That's where the 40th annual Husker Toy and Buckle Show was happening. Row after row of vendors, around 200, displaying countless boxes of toy tractors, cars, and more. After 4 decades, it has become one of the largest ag-related shows in the state. Promoter Brian Spatz says the show gives people a chance to connect to items that represent the agricultural community, and for some, the opportunity to be met with a blast from the past.
A lot of people have come and said, I've had this when I was a kid. I can't believe I found it. And here it is. So they end up purchasing. Everything has a special story behind it. So every piece on that table has a story behind it, where I got it, who it came from, stuff like that.
Spatz, who has grown up going to each one, says it originated at a hotel, moved to the Devaney Center and the State Fairgrounds before finally ending up at the event center. He'll be back there around this same time next year, and vendors say they'll spend the meantime at other local shows building up their collections. That's going to be your morning pulse for this Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And we'll throw things over to our 7-day forecast before throwing them over to Brandon Rector with more. But needless to say, it is going to be frigid.
Good Monday morning. Meteorologist Brandon Rector with you in the 1011 Severe Weather Center. It is going to be mostly sunny to partly cloudy for the bulk of the day. Cold and a bit breezy as well, with our winds out of the northwest becoming southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Winds should decrease to 5 to 10 miles per hour this evening, and it should become partly to mostly cloudy, so our clouds will be increasing. Temperatures at noon around 10 in Wayne and Sakema to 32 in Imperial. By 4, temperatures range from the upper teens to the low 40s, and by 8, we're in the mid-teens to upper 20s. In Lincoln for today, warming up from the single digits this morning to the mid-20s this afternoon, about 10 degrees below average for this time of the year.
From the 1011 Now Alert Center, this is Morning Pulse.